Hello Scorpio, welcome to your reading for April the 11th through to the 18th. And as always, it's going to be general, so take the bits that resonate, and anything that does resonate, just leave that for someone else. Let's welcome in the archangels, ascended masters, light beings, spirit guides, our higher selves, of course, and any other animal, ancestral or dragon guides you feel resonant with, Scorpio. Okay, let's see if something's going to jump. We'll have a look. Okay, I think we're just going to take off the top here for today. Queen of Wands, Four of Swords, Seven of Cups, Page of Pentacles. We'll talk about these while I shuffle. Queen of Wands, Four of Swords. So I think you've been, maybe you're taking some time out here, Scorpio, to, I guess, maybe tuning into what it is that you really want. Maybe you're tuning into your creativity. You might also be tuning into how you can navigate your own ship or be the author of your own life more so. Also something about empowerment, creativity here, and passion. Sometimes Four of Swords is like, the mind is sort of resting. So maybe you've been really busy, lately, and you're kind of just taking some time out. Okay, well, Six of Wands came face up, so we're going to grab that. And I think we'll just see what else is going to pop up here, and then we'll have a look. Well, you've got some major arcana here. Right. You've got some fire in your reading here. So recently, I think you've kind of surrendered perhaps more into this idea of your empowerment, or being sort of doing things independently, calling your own shots as well. And maybe this has been really good for you because you've been able to maybe take time off when you need it. Maybe you've been able to rejuvenate more easily. The light's really, sorry about the lighting. And like right now, I think you're feeling fairly balanced here. Right now you're feeling things are in balance. You've kind of got a good handle on things. And you're also being recognised for your good work and for your, your abilities in a certain area or areas of life. Some skills that you have, some knowledge that you've acquired. I feel that people are possibly seeking you out. They're certainly acknowledging, what you're good at. An underlying theme is that, actually, before we go on, let's just go back to these. I think what this is saying here, sorry to go back to it like 3 times, but sometimes, more meanings come out, so just grab whichever one fits for you. But this could be talking about your ability now, Scorpio, to really activate your passion, but then you are knowing when to take the breaks so you can rejuvenate. You're doing some meditation. So you're probably feeling fairly passionate but calm and centered as you go about your business. Like, this is a kind of a really productive, harmonious sort of energy. I think you're putting out, you're being creative, you're doing stuff, right? But you're doing it with, like, from a really calm center. I think that's because, temperance is that ability to be balanced and calm, but also creative. Okay. Because your underlying theme here is that you have the Tower and the Hangman. But I feel like the Hangman is that you're sort of surrendering into your enlightenment. So it's like you're surrendering into the ups and downs of life. You know, if things are looking like they're, you know, falling down around you, it's like you're still able to maintain this centered, calm kind of state, and it's almost like you're in a position of acceptance and sort of saying, well, if it has to happen, it has to happen. Because I get this feeling that you are a little bit like, you're feeling really centered, like I'm just trying to get this phrase, the eye at the center of the storm. Okay, so it's like you're being really calm despite all of the stuff that's going on around you, okay? Which is similar energy here. Like this is sort of, you know, repeated in the cards a bit. General direction moving forward, you have the Seven of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So it could be that you know what this this pentacle is that you have here. It's something special that you're really treasuring, and you're learning from it, and you're moving forward. And this could be your the distractions that are sort of potentially there to, well, they're not there to do it, but they could potentially throw you off. But I feel like you're going to be able to maintain your balance moving forward. Or it could be that, you know, things are really great because not only do you have this option here of a, you know, a job or something practical like a project or a new way of being, a new health and well-being regime or something like that you're doing. Not only do you have this going for you, which is really positive and abundant, you know, potential abundance here, but you also have other options open to you as well. And this could be, you know, to do with your spirituality, creativity, intuition. But, you know, the Cups also talks about emotions and the senses and how, pleasuring the senses and that type of thing. And, you know, that's not the only part of the emotions. Of course, we have the deep emotional states, and we also have like the daily, like the emotions that we experience in a more transitory fashion. Yeah, so I think maybe it's going to be that there's going to be some, you know, like emotions that are going to perhaps positively impact or negatively impact what it is that you're doing. But you're a water sign, Scorpio, so I feel that you are able to navigate these ups and downs, or that you will be able to, given that's your general direction moving forward there. Let's have a look here for your outcome. But it's interesting that, you know, you being the fixed water sign, it is a bit like being, you know, the stable pillar in the middle of the ocean that's swirling around, okay? Which is awesome because you actually also have your power card here. You know, this is the power card, and that is the deep transformational death rebirth, okay? For you, Scorpio. We also have the priest here. You know, this is outcome. So this is the Hierophant. So there's something spiritually transformative that is happening in your outcome that will eventuate from this ability that you have to, you know, hold space. It's almost like you're a space holder, you know, for yourself, for others close to you. But, you know, if we're talking collectively, potentially, you know, for the consciousness, okay, for higher consciousness. So you could be holding space to allow higher frequencies to come in, is what I'm trying to say, and also to activate within you. Two of Swords and Two of Cups. So in your challenge. So this is about, you know, also something that you may not be aware of is that, you know, there could be a decision related to, you know, like an emotional connection you have with someone else, or it's related to the emotional connection that you have with yourself. So it could be to do with your masculine and feminine aspects. There might be a decision around that. Maybe you're going to choose to move more into the feminine, receptive, kind of creative, artistic, intuitive kind of zone, or maybe you're going to move more into the masculine, which is the initiatory, projective, kind of putting it out there energy. Or maybe you're going to, do both in more balance. And whatever it is that you're doing at the moment, Scorpio, is probably going to inform you and help you to join those two aspects of yourself together. Yeah. But that might be something that's, you may not be seeing at the moment. Two of Swords can be about sitting on the fence as well. So maybe there's a decision around something that, around something emotional in your life that has to do with perhaps, intimacy. It could be creativity, intuition, or spirituality. Okay, let's have a look here. Right, we're just going to grab 3 off the top. 4 of Cups, 7 of Cups again, and the Wheel of Fortune. This is interesting because the Wheel of Fortune talks about success, which you have in your reading, and the fall, or, metaphorical death or dissolution, which you also have in your reading. And it also talks about the falling and the rising. Okay, so this is where you are. We could almost say here that if we say falling, it's like the activity is sort of dropping off. Okay, or if we're rising, the activity is picking up. And this is what these two energies are here, Scorpio. I feel like in terms of the frequency could be rising and falling, and you're able to navigate that. You're also navigating your, like on a physical level, your energy, your physical energy, you're moderating that, you're balancing that out with Temperance. And you're also having a fairly tempered attitude here with regard to this success, or maybe other people recognizing you. So this is something that it's like, it's not going to your head, so to speak. Like it's not, you are, I guess, having this in balance. You are not the kind of person that is seeking external validation, but you know that essentially you need to validate yourself, but you also are aware that if other people validate what you're doing, it is a boost, and it is a type of encouragement for you, okay? But you also know that you have your inner compass and your inner reasons for doing things. It's not that you're doing things to please other people all the time, right? You have your inner compass as well. So this talks about the ups and downs, and also that idea of being at the center, in the center of all of the stuff that's going up and down, of all the tower moments that, are happening around you, of all of the, distractions, 7 of Cups that could potentially, throw you off. You also have this here, which is, literally like earth, heaven and earth as well. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is that Spirit's saying that you have it within you to have a great depth of understanding and wisdom when it comes to the the energetic state that the world is in. You are not one of these people that's going to get taken in by the low frequencies and to, move into pits of despair and giving up on life and things like that. That's not what this reading is saying. It's saying that you are able to, you have a lot of inner spiritual strength, okay? This is the Hierophant here. This is like spiritual strength, spiritual wisdom, which no doubt you've gleaned and obtained from past lives, not just this life. And maybe you're going to be calling on those past life experiences. I feel like, that maybe you may feel as though you're being put to the test here a little bit. And, you know, certainly there's this, the potential here to be focusing on things that are not working, or focusing on low vibe, and focusing on all of the destruction and, you know, the dissolving of things, and feeling despondent about it. But there's also this other cup here. And so Spirit's saying, you know, there is a choice point here for you. And that, you know, it sort of depends on perception, as we can perceive this card here, Seven of Cups. It could be that these things are distractions, but they could be options as well. And I think, Scorpio, that you have, because you have such a strong inner compass, you have the ability to choose. I mean, this could even be what you're doing here. The general direction forward is that you are going to be able to choose one of these 7 cups here. And you will choose the right one, because it's going to be something that is spiritual and transformative, essentially, for yourself and probably for other people around you. So I think you're going to be making a, you know, quite a spiritually, a spiritual decision here. But it's going to be in the name of releasing what's no longer serving. So releasing low frequency, low vibration, and, you know, kind of like moving into the spiritual. And then we come back to the start of your reading, where this idea of fire, okay, this transformative element that I think you could even be calling on this in your meditation, or maybe your higher self, or maybe you're tuning into some dragon energy, which is sort of has fire associated with it. During your meditation, you know, perhaps you are calling on the power of fire to, you know, etheric fire. We're not saying you're going to go and light fires, okay? What I'm saying is that this is an energetic process meditation that you could be doing, that perhaps your higher self is doing here. Because there are a lot of low frequency stuff going around. There is a lot of low frequency stuff, okay? But of course, Spirit's saying here, yes, that, you know, emotionally, people are getting pulled left, right and center all over the place in terms of emotions at the moment. Like the emotional realm on Earth is kind of, you know, I was going to say the word a bit hellish, but, you know, that's fairly strong word. But it's not smooth sailing at the moment here emotionally, okay, on Earth. I'm not saying that to be pessimistic. I'm saying that to be objective and realistic, because even though that's going on, Scorpio, I think you and many, many others are able to see it for what it is, and see that it's all part of a cycle, and that, you know, we can be the center. We can be the calm center in the eye of the storm. What should we do next? Let's look at the bottoms of the decks. 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is perfect. This is about becoming present. It's that number 4 of stability. It's becoming grateful for what you do have. It's becoming, you know, practical, looking after your foundation, which is health and well-being, and covering your bases financially. But it's sort of resonant with the 4 of Swords here. Okay, they're 2 4s, very stable, and also that idea of present, coming into the present, into the now moment, which is going to be really helpful. Page of Wands. Yeah, so you have Page of Pentacles, Earth, Page of Wands, Fire. So I think there could be a new pathway that you're blazing here, because the Page energy is quite experimental, and it's about learning things. And the Page of Pentacles doesn't necessarily turn into the Knight of Pentacles, or the Page of Pentacles may be in Pentacle realm for a while, but then they may go into the Fire realm, okay, and become a Page of Wands or a Page of Fire here. And that's sort of to do with this idea of transformation and passion, you know, as well. But that transformative element of fire. 9 of Swords. And this is sort of just really, I guess, emphasizing that idea that in terms of, you know, the mental and emotional realm on Earth at the moment is a little bit like, you know, the 9 of Swords. There are a lot of people that are really stressed, okay? And the thing is, our consciousness is very malleable. We're very sensitive. We're very open. We're very receptive to things. We're very, we are actually easily influenced. A lot of people are very easily influenced. And, you know, when there's a lot of negative vibe stuff going on, we can end up feeling like this, okay? Nine of Swords. Like there's a lot of stuff in our consciousness that's, you know, might not feel that positive. But, you know, I think once again, you know, this is that transformative point of looking at it objectively and saying, well, you know, if Scorpio, if you are feeling like this at times and you know other people are feeling like this, it's really about that, you know how to apply that element of fire to that aspect and to transform it. And here we have the Priestess too. It's just jumped out. This is the High Priestess. To apply your inner, you know, your inner knowing, your inner wisdom, and to sit in that center. You know, we're going to come back to this again. You know, the center of the wheel, the eye of the storm, okay? I feel like I'm going to be saying that a lot. I've already said it a lot, sorry. Four of Swords, perfect. Emphasizing, Spirit's, you know, driving this point home, is that meditation for you, Scorpio, coming into that center is really, I think, helping you to tap into your empowerment and to tap into this ability that you have to, in your consciousness, use this. It's almost like alchemical fire. There's something about this here because you also have this meditative pose here, right? You've got Four of Swords, you've got that, and you've also got the Hanged Man. I think inside, Scorpio, you are feeling a very deep sense of calm, okay, which is fantastic. You know, just awesome, in fact, because not everyone has that, okay? It's almost like a superpower. People can be calm on the inside at this point in time. You know, you're exercising a superpower, okay? Rainbow Dragon, nice. Brings the leap of joy that opens new doors. Have trust, rediscover wisdom, expect miracles, and accept opportunities. Yeah, I think you are rediscovering your wisdom, Scorpio, which, you know, this is bang on. I feel like there's something from your past lives, which we did just mention before, that you're really sort of tapping into deep wells of, you know, there's these two cards here. There's something in these two cards for you, which is like death. Like you could have experienced a death as a spiritual person for some reason, but I think in that life you acquired a lot of wisdom and understanding with regard to consciousness and navigating low frequency, okay, in order to raise the frequency and to become clear. And yeah, this is a fifth dimensional dragon as well. So rainbows, you know, all the colours, using colour, Scorpio, could be something that you like doing. And yeah, calling on this dragon for assistance could be really helpful. The rainbow dragon of the fifth dimension. Yeah, it brings a leap of joy that opens new doors. And yeah, I think we might wrap it up there for you, Scorpio. I hope that's been helpful. I look forward to your next reading. In the meantime, have a great day, a great week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.